What up, podcast fam? Welcome to today's episode. I wanted to, before we get started, let you know that I have a very cool 10 tips to increase your energy naturally. So listen, if you are drinking Monsters or 19 cups of coffee a day, this is for you, okay? Go to amandachills.com/energy and it is totally free. So y'all are welcome. We about to be a bunch of Energizer bunnies up in here. Okay, let's get to the episode. Glad you're here. Welcome to the Root of Power podcast, where I teach you how to step into your power, find alignment, and create a life that you love using holistic methods, interviews with industry leaders, and inspiring stories from people who know that true freedom is found within. I'm your host and health and wellness bestie, Amanda Chills, and I'm so proud of you for choosing to step into the root of your power. Hello, and welcome back to the Root of Power podcast. Today we are going to be talking about my morning routine. So I think especially with the pandemic still happening, like hashtag COVID-19, a lot of people have their morning routines interrupted. So perhaps you can take something from mine that'll be useful, or if you already have a morning routine, leave me a comment below if you're on YouTube, or shoot me a message and tell me what your morning routine is like. I'm always looking to add better things or take things away, and I'm just nosy. So please tell me your morning routine so I can satisfy my nosiness. Let me know how you like it. If it works for you, if it doesn't work for you, what you need. I'm always open to supporting you guys in any way that I can. So without further ado, let us dive in. So a typical morning routine is something, honestly, that I have never been able to have because I always worked. So my first job out of grad school was working with families in their home. And so those hours were super wonky. I was going to high schools. I was having staff meetings in Greensboro, which is about an hour away from me. So I really didn't have a typical schedule ever in life until March, when I started working for myself full time. And so after I worked for the in-home services, where those were all over the place, sometimes I would work until 9 o'clock at night. Like, it was just very dependent on when the families could meet, of course. My second counseling job was in a methadone clinic, which was wonderful. Oh, the hours, they were just the shit, honestly. They were lovely. So I worked from 6 until noon-ish, 1 o'clock. And then I had the rest of the afternoon free, which was how I was able to do the private practice, because I would set up clients in the afternoons. But that also meant that if I wanted a morning routine, I was getting up at 4:30 in the morning. And listen, your girl was not about that. Like, it was not for me. So I would just roll out of bed at like 5 o'clock or whatever, go to work, do the thing, and then have the afternoons off. So I finally, because I work for myself now, like, what up, have the time to do a morning routine. So it's taken me, it is August now that I am filming this episode. And I have worked for myself since April, so 4-ish months to really get a morning routine down. At first, I would wake up in the morning and be like, what do I do now? Like, what do normal people do with a morning routine? So I was kind of Googling, and then I was listening to a podcast by a cat named Jeremy Abrams. Totally lovely dude. I will link his podcast below because you should also be listening to him. He's phenomenal. And he was talking about his morning routine after I had already kind of had mine solidified, and I was like, oh, cool. Like, ours kind of vibe, kind of do the same thing. Which is here nor there, right? Do what's best for you. It was just cool to have someone else also be like, yeah, I have a morning routine and I do these things in it. So if you've hung on this long, give me another minute because I'm going to get to what it is. The point is that I had to make it up all by myself. And what it's really become for me is a very centering, grounding focus. So every single morning, I know what to expect. I have time completely to myself. No one bothers me. No one needs me. I don't typically, I never get on email, almost never. I don't really have people messaging me because it's kind of early-ish in the morning and they're not trying to at me yet. So I really have the time to center and ground and like set my intention for the day and do that whole thing. So most people want a morning routine because it really sets the tone for their day. Now, I don't necessarily 100% believe that everyone in life needs to have a morning routine, but it has worked really well for me. So in case you're curious if it'll work for you, maybe, right? Everything is a self-experiment. I would say try it. Start small. Of course, if you're working in the morning or you have a long commute or something like that, start where you can. Of course, don't just jump into a 2-hour morning routine. But if you are struggling or if you need some help, send your girl a message. I will help you out. So those are all of my thoughts on a morning routine. There's lots of books, of course, like own your morning, own your day kind of things. Listen, have at it. Live your dream. Read all the books. Do all the things. This is just what works for me. So my morning routine, typically I wake up at like 6 or 6:30. I'm trying to wake up a little earlier now because I've got farm stuff that I really want to do in the mornings, like trimming horses or scooping poop or cleaning or things that just kind of get to the wayside when I'm working. So my goal is to wake up at about 5:30 and get my butt up out of bed, but so far it's really been closer to 6 and 6:30. If it's closer to 6, I just kind of snuggle with David for a few minutes so we get like the oxytocin moving, and it's extremely peaceful. My bedroom actually faces east, so the sunrise is kind of peeking through the windows, and Madge, my dog, the world's most perfect dog, is typically laid out across the bed. Like if you guys have dogs, then you know what I mean. No matter how small they are, they like multiply in size whenever they're on the bed. And it's extremely peaceful. So I take those few mornings and I kind of set an intention, and I think like today's going to be so good. Like this is so nice. It's so relaxing. Kind of drifting out of sleep for a few minutes. So I finally get up around like 6:30 and I go up to our local YMCA to walk. So I am jealous of people who live in neighborhoods where you can just walk in your neighborhood. I live on a highway. It's like 2 lanes, but I'm not going to be walking on it because I don't want to get hit by a car. So I actually head up to a local hiking trail. I obviously put like walking clothes on, not just my pajamas, which I mean, do you if that's what you do. So I go walk for about an hour, sometimes a little less because, sometimes I'm a little lazy, but most of the time it's really an hour. And during that time, I take it to just do personal development. So I listen to a podcast, or most of the time I'm listening to a podcast and thinking about things I want to do for the business, whether that's like leading a women's group or, plans that I have for the future or an Instagram caption that I want to write. I really find that moving my body, because your brain and your body are one, they are linked, really gets my mind moving too. So there's a lot of really interesting research about how much movement actually, it kind of is a catalyst for movement in the mind. Side note, but I think you'll often notice if people are very stiff and flexible in their body, their mind is also very stiff and flexible. So movement helps me be creative. It helps me kind of center. I'm outside. There's trees. There's sometimes dogs that I love to see. Always more excited about dogs than people. So I walk for about an hour. I listen to a podcast. I'm working on personal development, doing that whole thing. Then I come home, right? And I make coffee. So I used to have a coffee maker, and it was fine. It was good. But I decided that I wanted to be bougie about coffee. So if you're bougie coffee people, let me know what you do, because I'm very interested in it. So I have a thing called a Cuban coffee maker, which is what I have always called it. I'm Cuban, and I have only ever heard it been called a Cuban coffee maker until maybe 2 years ago when someone told me it was an espresso maker. And I was like, that's not real. That's not a thing. It's a Cuban coffee maker. Turns out it's not. it just is an espresso maker. So I grind my own beans because, again, bougie. And I love the smell of coffee beans. Like, coffee people, you know what I mean. So I do that whole thing, and I bought vanilla syrup so I can be bougie at home. And I use heavy cream. Now, if you're still with me, I'm about to change your life. Instead of using milk in your lattes or half and half in your coffee, use heavy cream. Oh my God, it makes your coffee velvet, and it just ups your coffee game a million percent. So like 3 exponents of million%, however much that is. You will thank me. You're welcome. It has less sugar and it is so much better. So next time you're at a coffee shop, ask for heavy cream. It will change your life. So I make my coffee the slow way, which is kind of cool. Usually I put a lot of cinnamon. I put a lot of cinnamon in it. Try saying that 3 times fast, because cinnamon is an anti-inflammatory and it helps me use less of the syrup, which typically has a lot of sugar. So kind of less sugar overall, and cinnamon is delicious. And so I make my coffee and I journal. When I was recording this episode, guys, it was a few months ago, and so I actually wanted to update you on my new coffee routine in the morning. And I know obviously you guys are all dying to know, like, what does she do with her coffee in the morning? Well, let me help you out. So I actually bought an espresso machine as a gift to myself for finishing the coaching certification. And it has changed my freaking life. Guys, you need an espresso machine. This thing cost me like $150. It steams milk. I am fancy AF right now. So there you go. Coffee, espresso machine. In a manifesting journal right now that I developed, so I will have a blog post about that by the time September rolls around and this podcast comes out. So I do my manifesting journal where I focus on one thing that I am wanting to manifest a month. And again, if you are wanting the manifesting journal, and I highly suggest that you get it, it is already working and showing up for me. I will put that link down below as well. So I do my manifesting journal. I say my intention for the day, kind of like a morning mantra. So I encourage you to develop your own, of course. They obviously work better and are a lot more powerful if you're doing them. But I will read mine for you. So mine goes like this. Sorry, I'm trying to find a spot to put my water. So my morning mantra or morning intention, whatever you want to call it, and this is something I do every morning, and sometimes I do it before bed as well. But honestly, sometimes I forget to do it before bed. So every morning I make sure that I do it. It's in my office where I work from every day. It goes, today I am committed to creating a world filled with more healing, connection, joy, and gratitude. I choose to love everybody and to tell the truth. I am ruled by love, intuition, and alignment. I am determined to see each moment as a gift and make the most of it. I understand that this universe is one of abundance, and everything I desire is already on its way to me, and I can empower others to do the same. I'm fully committed to my mission and my dreams. I'm focused on serving, leading, learning, and storytelling every day. This life is one of expansion and abundance. The world needs my gifts and my spirit. I understand that by amplifying my impact on the world, I will generate more income. I'm using this abundant amount of money to help those who need it. So what that morning mantra does is really remind me why I am doing the things that I'm doing. It's not so I can make a lot of money. That is a byproduct of helping a lot of people, which only amplifies my ability to make an impact on my community and on this world. So it centers, what am I doing? What am I focusing on? Why am I here? Why am I showing up on video for you? Showing up on this podcast for you? And those are all the reasons why. So I do that. So I've journaled. I have my coffee, I have set my intention, and so then I roll out my little yoga mat that I got at Marshall's. Side note, Marshall's always has phenomenal yoga mats, so if you need one, go to Marshall's, or you can come to my Amazon page. Either one is good. If you decide to go through my Amazon page, I do get a piece of that commission. So if you want to support me, that is a wonderful way to do it. So I roll out my yoga mat and I do mobility things. So more so than just passive stretching, I really work on getting my body through a big range of motion. So I do that for maybe 30 minutes to 45 minutes. Again, I'll listen to a podcast or I'll put on some flowing kind of music. And then because I'm ADHD. So the fact that I've gone this linear for this long is kind of a miracle. We're working on it. What I do is I remind my clients that I have that day. So every morning I do back end work, I do my morning routine, and I do things like this. And in the afternoons, I see my clients. So I send them a text saying, hey, we are today at whatever time at the farm, which is where I'm seeing people right now, or on video if that's what they choose. So I send them a quick reminder text because I assume everyone needs that because I would definitely need that. And it seems helpful. So I send them a reminder text and then I get settled into my day. So you may be thinking, oh my God, Amanda, that's a lot of shit. Like that must take forever. And it doesn't really. So I wake up around 6:30, I get out of bed. I usually get to my walking trail about around 7, maybe between 7 and 7:10. I walk for an hour. I'm home by 8:15 at the latest, really. And from 8:15 to 9, I do the coffee, the journaling, the intention, the mobility, and text my clients. So by 9 o'clock, I'm ready to roll into whatever I'm doing for that day. So like Tuesday and Thursday mornings, I have blocked out for doing podcast things, for doing video things. Mondays, I write my notes because right now I do counseling still. And so I'm billing insurance and they need notes in order to pay me. And so I do all of my notes on Monday for the previous week. Wednesday, I'll do other projects. I'll edit. I'll do other things like that. Fridays, I actually try not to work. It's a goal that I'm working towards. It's just not something that I've been able to hit yet because I'm still in the building out phase for this business. So it really only takes about 45 minutes to do whatever I need to do. And then by 9 o'clock, I'm ready to roll. So doesn't take as long as you think. And again, if all you have is 10, 15 minutes, could you make coffee and sit down and journal for a few minutes? Just what do I want today to look like? How do I want to show up today? What is my highest self doing? How can I be my future self's BFF, right? That's really the goal here, is to have this routine, to have this structure so that future me is 100% benefiting from this. So even if I don't want to, even if I miss parts of it, I show up as best I can every single day. And that's really all that you can do. Some days you're going to miss it. That's okay. Just get back on track. So if this was helpful to you, let me know. Shoot me a message. Sometimes I'm definitely talking out into the void. So please talk to me, right? Talk back if you're the void. Again, I want to point out that you can get my manifesting journal. I will link that below. And it has really changed the way that I think about showing up in life and things showing up for me. I was manifesting a thing for, I think, 2 days. I wrote it down and then it started showing up. So it is powerful. It is real. And if you want to really create the life that you want, manifesting is 100% a tool that you are going to want to learn. This will teach you how to do that. So that is my morning routine. Again, I try and do it every morning. 90% of the time I do it, and it has absolutely changed my days. But it did take me a while to be able to do it, even though technically I could have gotten up at like 5 a.m. and had a little 10, 15-minute morning routine. I just wasn't there yet, and that was okay. It came at a time when I really needed it. So good luck, people. Again, let me know what your morning routine looks like. What aspects of mine do you think is crazy? What aspects of mine are you going to steal? Which, please, by all means, take them. use them, amplify them, do you, so that you get the most benefit out of this. That's the whole purpose. Good luck, and I will talk to you next week. Okay, I hope that you enjoyed a little peek into my morning, and I hope that you start working out a morning routine that works for you. Again, if you want to increase energy, remember I've got my 10 top energy natural hacks, amandachills.com/energy. What was your favorite part of this? Do you think my morning routine is whack? Do you have one? Let me know. All right, y'all, be good.